Hey lovelies, I'm Adri Theron, and I have another Otome video for you today. So I have been playing through Homura the Crimson Warriors because I got a review key from Idea Factory through Keymailer, which I very much appreciate. So I have finished the third route out of 5. There's only 5 in this game. And the third route that I was doing was Kamanosuke Yuri. Okay, he's our little fiery super genki ninja. He is very strong. I mean, they're all strong. So it's like they're all crazy strong. So Homura, the Crimson Warriors, is about the 10 Sonata Brave ninjas, warriors, whatever you want to call them. And we play as the main character, who is a female ninja. Not a kunoichi technically, more just a regular ninja. The story talks about that a little bit depending on the guy's route. So, but for third round, we went with Kamanosuke, and I didn't love it. He is very nice. He is very sweet. When he blushes, it's super cute. He's very energetic. He's a short king, so if you like short guys, you know, he's your token short guy. But he's very passionate. He's very fiery. I do like his energy, and I like him as a person, and I also love him as like a romance interest. But overall, for me, just the route didn't hit. It's almost zero romance. Almost zero. I'm like, how did we go from this? We like each other. He does have a kiss CG. Everyone gets a kiss CG, I'm pretty sure. The game as a whole is not overly romantic. This is more of a historical, fantasy, romantical Otome game. Very similar to Hakuoki. But even there is no romance in this game, in this route of the game particularly. Like, it's just not there. So I'm big on romance. You know, that's one of the reasons I play Otomes, is because I want to romance men. I want the cute, fluffy romance story. I really like that in my video games. So that was a little disappointing. And it was just, you know, it was a lot less than the 2 I did before, which was kind of like shocking. Like, I didn't feel like Kamanosuke like ever really flirted with us. Occasionally, it was kind of just like, you know, we're there and we're like choose to spend all of our time with him, and we're just there and like we orbit around him, kind of like a planet does to the sun, and eventually we fall in love. So I just found that kind of didn't like it. So his does have an interesting story. You know, we do find out like why he joined the ninjas. There's some little complications there with his past and history that we find out about. His route overall does answer some more questions than the others. Like, we get some more questions about our big rivals and how they occur, and the big bad guy that we're fighting against. We find out a little bit more about him. Like, I do feel like the information that was revealed in this route kind of built on what I had already found out in the previous 2. So I'm kind of like, okay, as I'm going through, the answers are progressively getting answered, so that's good. But there's just a significant lack of romance. So just like everyone else, he has 9 chapters. And then he has a happy love end, a sad love end. There are 4 bad ends, which the previous 2 guys I think had 5 each. If you just care about CGs, then you don't really need to do the bad ends or the sad end, because there are no CGs attached to that, which I am kind of bummed about. I do kind of like, not necessarily the bad ends, that's kind of normal, but like the sad end, it's a sad love end, but it's really, it's just a fancy bad end. Okay. It would have been nice to have a CG for those sad love endings, but you know, not the end of the world. So, yeah. And one thing I did like about his story is there kind of, as you play through the game, you'll see that there's kind of an arc overall that the story kind of takes. This happens, then this happens, and this happens, and this happens. I played Sasuke and Saizo first, right? And their story kind of followed the same path. So it was very similar. Kamanosuke's does actually kind of have a different middle part than the previous two routes. So I did like that. So I am kind of curious how the next two routes are going to go. So I am hoping for a little bit more variety for the next two, hopefully, with how the routes go, because I just think it's interesting. Just like the two routes before, Kamanosuke has a specific enemy that he fights. And I remember, kind of like in Hakuoki, the guys were like paired up with a guy from the other side, and you have a lot of interactions with them. Kamanosuke has a guy from the other side that he mainly fights against, and you see over and over. I liked this individual. I liked the other guy. I liked the bad guy. I thought how he was portrayed was kind of fun. He has a very fun and a little bit energetic, boisterous personality too. So they kind of played off each other well. And so far, actually, like all of the bad guys have had very different stories and kind of very different personalities. So that's been fun to see so far. And let's see, what else? So am I enjoying my time with Homura? So far, like, yes. Again, it is lacking on the romance, so it's not going to be a 9 or a 10 for me, because you gotta have significant bits of romance to be 9 or 10. The story so far is kind of going a little bit over my head. I don't know a lot about Japanese history. There's a lot of info dumping throughout the game to give you the context, which is good. I'm reading all the little historical notes, the family names, and what's going on. I really appreciate the maps. But quite a bit going on story-wise, and a lot to remember. I'm just like, yeah, sure. You remember this thing we mentioned before? No. But, what's another thing I liked about Kamanosuke's route? Probably the main thing is you do see the main character fight a lot more in this route than the other two, shockingly enough. Don't really see her training. Like in Sasuke's route, you saw her training quite a bit, but in this route, I feel like she fights with Kamanosuke a lot more than the other two. So I really like that. I like before their two routes, like, I'm like, I don't really feel like a super powerful ninja. And she's not supposed to be a super powerful ninja, so I'm not really supposed to feel that, but still, it like feels kind of like a novice ninja, and some of the other routes more so, you know, than this route. This route, I would say I felt like a master ninja, but I actually felt like I was, you know, a decently powerful character, decently skilled, and could like hold my own. So like we do actually fight in battles. So I did like that a lot. So like story-wise, that was pretty good. It was interesting. Romance-wise, significantly lacking. So right now, I got 2 more routes to go, but I think Kamanosuke is probably going to be at the bottom of the list for me. Sasuke and Saizo. I'm not sure thinking on it. I'm gonna think about this more of like, I'm gonna have to figure out how I rank the guys. I got 2 more rounds to go before I really have to rank them, but I'm 90% sure Kamanosuke is gonna be at the bottom. So I'm going on to the next route, and then I'll go on to the next route after that. And then once I finish the game, I'll do a whole review of it overall. But I am keeping these videos spoiler-free, because I don't want to ruin the game for you, because hopefully you're going and playing the game. And if you're not going and getting it now, because I do know it's a newer game, right? They released earlier this year, you will eventually get it. And I don't want to ruin anything for you, because I do overall think you should go play the game. Okay, I'm rambling. That's it for this video. Thank you, and bye-bye.